I'm not pretty sure if this account will survive 40 minutes, no? But if you don't, if you get cut off by 40 minutes, I'll just get back again, no? And then you join again. Okay. This is a test. I have tested this a few times and I had problems the first time around. Okay. So if you look at our sino? Unstable ang net. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Internet is unstable. Sige lang, it's recorded, okay? So I have extended the deadline of your first performance assessment, so you can still perform some modifications, and I will stamp the grade, okay, after July 16. 15, no? January 15, I'm sorry, no? And then I may, no, extend the performance assessment, formative assessment, because I think I need more time. Okay, do you follow? So anyway, just stay put, no, and then pay attention to the email, no, because I'm going to email if there are changes with our schedule. Have you seen the the web pages, no? The best web pages and that I've seen so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can view the CSS. Now in YouTube, I have seen a video entitled "The Battle of Between CSS Kings." Tingnan natin. Ang galing nila mag CSS, no? CSS Kings. I challenge the CSS King to a battle. No? Ang galing nilang mag CSS right there and then, no? Pwede silang on the fly. They create very good, you can watch this, no? Challenge the CSS King to a battle. Ang galing. CSS is a very complex, no, area. It's not difficult, right? But it's too detailed. There are so many details nowadays because of the different enhancements that it has gone through. So medyo maraming details yan, but there are people who can do CSS on the fly, no? And you can see their web pages as very exemplary, no? So you need to practice more. You need to practice more, particularly, the layout. So grids and flex boxes, kailangan doon. And then alignment, centering, that's always difficult. Alignment to the left and alignment to the right. So maraming kailangan gagawin. We cannot discuss CSS all the time because we will consume more than a semester. Especially, we will discuss other CSS platforms like Bootstrap, W3, Materialize, Foundations, Tailwind. Ang daming mga CSS ngayon, and we cannot discuss all of them. We will only discuss Bootstrap, which is the de facto standard. Now, Bootstrap 5 is the newest version. 5.1 is the newest version, and I have updated a link. Kasi hindi mag-work pala yung there are examples I have which will not work, in Bootstrap 5. So you use Bootstrap 5.1, and I have the anchor links here, I have the links, the CDN link, the content delivery link. You have to include this in your link in the header, okay? Do you follow? Now I follow. I have seen a Bootstrap tutorial. I have finished most of this, si Kudvinkat, he's a very popular nowadays, Indian web developer, he is an all-around web developer, from ASP.NET. I also use him, as my sources in my other ASP.NET core classes, and have downloaded many of his source codes. You can look for Bootstrap tutorial for beginners by Kudvinkat. His web page is prajimtech.com. The only problem with this Bootstrap is Bootstrap 3 pa ito. But many of the early tutorials will work. Like I think the tables will work, the buttons and icons, forms and controls. The navigations and navigation bars will no longer work. Do you follow? Do you follow? So I'd like you to look at this, and then make an adjustment with respect to Bootstrap 5, saan yung aking I have to log into W3 Spaces because I'm using it for my kasi mahirap ang Visual Studio, mabagal na matagal mag-compile. So I'm just going to demonstrate my sample in W3 Spaces. We need to search for, there's also a tutorial in W3 in W3 schools regarding Bootstrap 5. You can just search it, Bootstrap 5 tutorial W3 schools. So hindi na sila fully compatible, ang Bootstrap 5 sa bakit ito, I'm still looking for my table of contents. Sorry, Bakit wala? I'm not getting my ito, so it's there, so I'm going to refer to this from time to time. So last meeting I've shown you a demo on the basics, like text and paragraphs. You can look at this. These are the important tutorials that you can find from CodeWinCat. The grid system, that's very important. It still works. By the way, it still works. The grid system of the Bootstrap 5 still works. And then an image gallery, I think this still works. I've tested this with 5.0. Text and paragraphs, it's important that you know how to. I think I've introduced this already. And then Bootstrap tables, I will try to find out. Buttons, icons, and drop downs. Forms and controls, I haven't tested this, but I think this will still work. I'd like you to go throughout this, to go through these tutorials, although this will no longer work in Bootstrap 5.1. Bootstrap 5.3 lang ito. So that's why I've changed the color, Kasi let me edit this. This is only Bootstrap 3. I think this will also work in Bootstrap 4. So in our case, I highly recommend we go for the latest version. Kasi wala nang balikan di ba? Mahirap na bumalik. Okay? So, yeah. So last time we had text and paragraphs, right? And then we had Bootstrap buttons. No? Do you follow? Okay, and I think it's still in W3 Spaces. Can we use component libraries for PA number 2? What do you mean by component libraries? Sa PA number 2, CSS Bootstrap Do you follow? Leonard? What do you mean by component libraries? CSS lang tayo, So Bootstrap, basta walang JavaScript. Because anything basta wala mo ng JavaScript. Okay. I have a problem with my keyboard, I think. Okay. Sandali lang, my mouse. Medyo maingay itong bagong Zoom, It rings a bell every time someone tries to go in, to join. It's good, Pero maingay. Okay. So Bootstrap lang muna tayo sa PA number 2, You can use other topics. You cannot use a topic, Nalagay ko na ba ang rubrics? Wala pa, But this time we'll be using grids, and nav bars, okay? So let's look at the grid system, okay? It's very important, when you are designing or creating a web page, the layout is the most important, right? Do you follow? Okay. Do you follow? I have here in my W3 spaces an example for, nalagay ko na ba? Sige, ano ko na lang, no? Nandun sa kabilang room. Anyway, I'll open it here. Okay. Okay. So there's a new CDN link. Okay, Bootstrap grid .html. Okay, let's delete this first. Now, when you create, okay, it's very important that you will have a layout. For example, you have a left side, a main content, no, right side bar, no. Usually, meron ganon, di ba? You have a left, you have a navigation bar on the left, another navigation bar on the right, no. So to do that, bago ng content delivery network, no, ito na, no. I posted this, by the way, in Dagler. This is for Bootstrap 5.1. Okay, so you have to enclose your layout within a Bootstrap container. So when you say div class container, this is a class in Bootstrap. Ito lang ang hindi maganda sa Bootstrap. Hindi niya nilagay ng B5 dash container, no? So you have to be careful with naming your own styles. So in this case, your own styles, you prefix them with whatever your usual prefix. For example, in my case, I have my underscore container. Do you follow? Which means that this is my own style. This is not Bootstrap. Okay, do you get my point? Kasi Bootstrap was the first CSS framework. It did not adopt any naming convention. So sana nilagyan niya ng BS5 or BS dash container. Okay, so that you will not confuse it with your own classes. So anyway, from now on, you will name your, for example, we will name our class as my custom div. Okay? Lagyan natin ng ganyan para we will know that this is ours and it's not Bootstrap's. Okay? Any question so far? Any question? So ganito yan. Any Bootstrap device or displayed device is divided into 12 columns. No? Now, the smaller device you use will apply to a larger device. However, a larger device will not apply to a smaller device. Do you follow? Let's have an example for that, no? For example, ito, no? Okay. Now, all div class, Bootstrap grids are enclosed within a container or container fluid. Do you follow? Do you follow? So enclose mo yan. And all classes, no? Rather all columns and all divs within your okay, must be enclosed within a row. Okay? So dapat nakapasok sa loob ng isang row. Do you follow? Who has used this before? Sinong gumagamit ng Bootstrap? You can just chat. Okay? Long time ago. So Bootstrap 1, say goodbye to it because it's totally inapplicable nowadays. No? Iba na talaga ang Bootstrap ngayon. Okay? This is Bootstrap 3 which still applies in Bootstrap 5. Okay? So the good thing about Bootstrap is it helps you create a CSS without having to create your own classes from scratch. Diba? Diba? Kasi mahirap mag-create ng classes from scratch. Now let's run this. Let's try to run this, no? This is SM, so small. Okay? So nakaganyan siya. Okay? Let's give this a class. Mamaya na yan, no? So, nagkaganyan, SM. Do you follow? Kasi, hindi ito SM. Ang ibig ko sabihin ng SM, hindi yung SM na it's a small, no? Small. XS daw tayo, extra small. Okay. Okay, so hindi talaga siya nagkasya sa XS. This is a very small. Anyway, let's try to open this in a large device. This is called Bootstrap grid.html. WJRA / Bootstrap grid. Okay, bakit hindi na gano? Let's try the, wala na sigurong XS, no? Sa tingin ko wala ng XS ngayon, no? MD. MD means medium. SM is small. Okay. Let's try to run this. Ayan, no? Diba? So now we have a layout which has three main grid components, no? A left side, a main content, and a right side. You take note that this main content is large because this consumes 8 of the 12 columns. The left side contains 2 of the 12 columns, and the right side contains 2 of the 12 columns. So 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 12. Do you follow? Do you get my point? No? Let's try to use SM. Wala na yatang SM, XS eh. Hindi mag-apply. No? XS used to be very small. Ano? So, ang SM ngayon is tablets. Okay? Let's run this. So, do you follow? So, this is SM. So, if you run this smaller, no? So, this will apply. And the smallest, I think, no? What is the smallest? 480? 480 ba? The SM size. Now, if it goes below small, it will now stack the vertically, the divs vertically. Do you follow? Do you get my point? Okay. Now, what will happen if you will do a medium? If you will use medium instead, shall we say MD? This will have a smaller size. Okay. So sa medium, ito sa large pa ito eh, no? Sa large. No? Pag sa medium ka, if you are in medium, no, this is not yet very small, no? When you reach below the medium size, it will now stack your divs in a vertical order. Let's try the large. No? I-try natin yung large. LG. Okay. So let's run this. Refresh. So this screen, I think large is 720, okay? Extra large is 1080. Okay? So if you fall below the 720, now that below 720, that's when Bootstrap will realign, no? Will realign your layout. Do you follow? Do you follow? Do you get my point? Any questions so far? So this is very important, no? This is how you should now this is in Bootstrap grid. Dito sa Bootstrap tutorial, okay? If you look at the Bootstrap tutorial, there's grid basic, no? So 12 yan lahat, no? 12 yan lahat, and these are wala nang XS, no? Only SM, MD, LG. Now take note, XL pala is the 1080, and XXL is 1400, no? So meron pa ring mga monitors that can have 1400, no? Okay, and SM is 576, and 720 is MD. Okay, do you follow? So LG is almost the 1080, no? Yun yung equivalent. LG and XL, these are the equivalent. Now to make sure, no, that they will run, you can use either SM or MD. Okay. Okay. Now let's try to illustrate this further by using our by using a different color. I have here a my custom div. Okay. Now can you apply the same class here? Now usually it's not advisable to do that. No. You can enclose, however, to apply your class. Now you can use a different div. Okay. You can use a different div and name your class. Class and use your name. No. Your okay. My custom div. Okay. Do you follow? And then you compass this with a div. Okay. So let's run this. Sa left hand side. So yan. Because of the height. Now, since the height has changed, now the left side has occupied the whole screen. Now, to make them a uniform size, uniform height, okay, we can apply the custom div to all of them. Let's try to find out. No? So, if you are going to use both W3, no? W3 and Bootstrap, do not use them on the same div. Okay? Magkagulo. Magulo yun. I haven't tried it, no? But obviously, no, you cannot apply the same set. You have to use a different div to apply a different custom class, no? So this is an example here where I have a different custom class which applied on a div, the same div which is used also by Bootstrap, no? So nilagyan ko ng my so that I will be able to distinguish that this style is not from Bootstrap, okay? So nagkaganon, medyo hindi niya kaya sa XS, okay? Okay. So can we have can we apply a width? So we say 20 EX, pwede ba? Let's save this. So medyo maliit yung no? Medyo maliit yung 20, so we'll say we'll apply this 200 PX. Okay? So ganyan, no? So let's try to do this, no? So maganyan sila because we are using what? We are using SM, small. So let's try and let's have another content. My content div. Okay. So lagyan natin ng width. Shall we put a width of 800? Kasi 800 ito eh. So 200 ito 800. So 200 yung ba, no? So obviously it's like also proportionally, no? Proportionally the same. Okay? Content capital let's not capitalize. Okay, this is called camel case, no? Yung ang camel kasi malaki yung body, maliit yung Okay, my custom div, my content div. Let's try to save this and try to execute. Okay. Medyo sumobra yung ating content. Because what can a large do? Ganyan, no? Okay. Kasi remember that okay, 200 pixels plus 800 plus 200, that gives you 1,200 pixels. So that's XL. That will only apply on XL. Do you follow? No? So the moment you go below XL, go below mo ng XL, wala na, i-stop na niya. Okay? Do you follow? Okay. Let's try to adjust this according to medium, because what's medium? Medium is 768. So 768, how can we just the 100, 100, 100, that's 200, minus 700, 500 ito. Okay? Save. Okay? Ganyan. So, no? So, pag mag-extend, no? It will only go down when it goes below the medium. Pag large saka extra large, it will still be there, no? Do you follow? Do you get my point? Now, we can have another row, no? So in another row, we will have a layout where we will have how many? Four, ano? Four divs. Okay. O pwedeng dalawa lang, copyright saka author, no? Do you follow? So we'll have another row. So we say this. Let's copy this. Div class row, and we will have only two. SM. This is and this is the author div. We'll identify the class na lang, no? Sige lang. Pwede rin ID, no? We'll have it as SM6. This will be SM6. Wag muna nating lagyan ng ano, ng copyright div, okay? So basta author and ano ilalagay natin dito sa different row. Okay? MD na lang. MD6, this is also MD6, this will be copyright author. Okay. We now have two rows, no? And then let's try to run this. So ayan. Okay? Do you follow? And then we will justify that later. Okay? We'll also assign a custom div here so that we will have parang ano din siya. So we'll have a so let's say ano tawag dyan? Bar, my bottom bar. My bottom div. Okay? They follow. So we can now our height is too much, no? So kung 200, kung 700 in an MD, the medium is 350. That's ano. And then the height is too much. Shall we say 100 pixels? Okay. Text align is center. So centered na siya, no? Okay. And then you can also have it right aligned if you like. And then we will now assign this as my bottom div. Okay. So that's the first thing you need to do, no? When you create a web page, you assign your layout, and then you assign the width and the heights of your grid. Okay. So and Bootstrap can help you a lot with that, no? Save. Oh, ayan. Do you follow? Do you get my point? So now, in the second PA, you should be able to get more, bakit nagkaano, no? Meron tayong kulang dito. Because they're not the same. Because how much did we have for this? We have The width is 500. This is 100, 700. Okay? So per bucket 350 hindi nagkasya. Okay? Okay. Gawin na natin 350, 360. You just have to adjust, no? And you can apply padding and centering. Oh, no. Hindi na niya kaya. I think because we have reduced, we have sa 360 kasi medyo ano na. 360 plus 360, that's 720, no? Gawin na lang nating 355. You can apply padding and bottom margins, no? No. This is bottom div natin kanina is 350. Okay. And then what's our div? 6. MD6. So 6 plus 6 is 12. Lakihin pa natin ito, no? Bakit hindi nagkasya yung ano? Let's try to find out. That's the width. PX pala. Nawala yung PX. So we say 360 PX. Na-erase yung PX. Okay. 360 is too long, so we'll have 355. Okay. And then yung right side, you just apply paddings and margins. You have to work for it. Okay. Do you follow? Any questions? No. Now there are other nav bootstrap classes for responsive classes, no? Let me show you that. Responsive classes for grids, no? They are called visible and visible and hidden. Meron pa ba yan sa Bootstrap 5? Visible XS. Okay. Meron pa ba siyang visible XS? Hindi na niya sinulat eh. No? Anyway, let's try to find out, no? Kasi meron naman dito eh, no? Okay. So pwede mo ma-change, no? Call dash MD dash SM and then dash call dash SM dash 3. Okay. Visible XS. Let me try to do that, no? Hidden. Let's have to let's try. Okay. We want this to be hidden in hindi tayo nag-MD, no? MD. XS na lang, no? Tama na yung XS because it will apply anyway, no? It will apply. No. And then we will apply the class hidden. Wala itong IntelliSense. But if you're in Visual Studio, you can install the emmet extension, and then it will have IntelliSense. Hidden.md. Okay? And then tingnan natin kung SM tayo ni. SM tayo. MD na lang tayo, no? MD so that we can apply hidden, what we'd like to do is hide when it becomes ano, ang right hand side na lang, no? We'll apply another class called, this is in ano, this is in Bootstrap 3, hidden dash xs, no? Which means that if the size becomes small, no, i-hide niya yung right side. Okay, let's try to change this. Hindi na wala, no? Maybe this does not apply anymore to Bootstrap 5 because hidden dash xs is Bootstrap 3 class, no? Let me double check, no? Let me double check. Let me search, no? Bootstrap 5 hidden xs. Maka SM lang. Wala, hidden ito. Bootstrap 4 meron. Bootstrap 5 hide column smaller than. Okay. Is it visible or invisible, no? Bago pa. I'm very new to Bootstrap 5, no? Invisible. Hindi pwede. Hidden. Dito tayo mag hidden SM. No? Nakawala yung ano. Okay? Kawala yung XS, no? In Bootstrap 5. I think kawala na yung ano. Let's try to find this out. Hindi talaga siya nag-hidden. I think they have deprecated the hidden and visible. Hindi siya nag-work, oh. Hide SM pala, hindi pala hidden. Hidden only. Hidden only on SM. Ganito na yung syntax niya. Hidden only on medium. Wala siyang ano. It's not very clear, no? Yung hidden saka ano sa Bootstrap 5. Do you follow? Do you follow? Okay. So you find out, no? You find out the equivalent of hidden and visible. Kasi hindi ko pa makita sa Bootstrap 4, I'm sure it works, no? Kaya lang Bootstrap 5.1 ito. Okay, more or less, no? So ayan yung ano, how to make your layout, no, responsive using the div classes MD, ano. Now let's make changes, no? Gagawin natin sa small, shall we say for SM this is 2, for SM this is 8. Okay, let's try to run this. For small, so kung malaki siya, okay pa rin. Okay pa. What if we want to change this on we want to change the layout, no? The layout on ano, bagawin na natin itong ano, 300 content div. Content div is gawin natin 400 muna, no? And then the custom div we'll make the width 100. That's okay now, no? So for example, we want the main content, the custom div, to be small, to occupy 2 columns in small, but we would like it to occupy 1 column in medium. You follow? And this will, we'd like this to occupy col dash MD dash 2. Do you follow? Okay. And our MD. No, baligtad tayo. MD2 pag small 1. So when that the changes, so this will be MD8, and then we'll have call SM at SM5. Okay, which means that if the size changes to small, it will only occupy 5 columns. Okay, so and then this one will say this will occupy MD2, but on SM it will occupy 2 columns. Okay, so we want this to be responsive. No, let's try with a large screen. Okay. So nagliit na yun sila, no? Okay, let's look at what happens if it dapat magliit, no? Let's remove the custom div muna, no? The custom div. Wala. Let me find out why. Kalin muna natin itong dito sa div. Okay. So now we now have a layout with two classes, with two rows, no? So ganyan, no? So we'll try to find out what happens kung magiging small siya. Take note, the left side has become 1, no? But the right side is still 2, which means that we are trying to change the layout such that when the display port or the viewport size changes, no, the divisions will also adjust correspondingly. So in this case, no, in a small device, the left hand side has occupied 1. Kasi dito has occupied 1, but on a medium size it will occupy 2. Take note, it will occupy 2, no? On the other hand, no, the last column will occupy 2 columns on a medium 2 and will occupy 2 columns on a small. Okay, so if you look, if you resize to a small, the right hand side will still 2, will occupy 2, and the middle side will contain 5. Tingnan mo, nagliit na ito, 5 na ito, 2 pa rin ito. Okay, any questions so far? So you can combine classes, no? So in this example, the left hand side will occupy 2 columns, okay, on a medium viewport size, and will occupy 1 column on a small size. The main content will occupy 8 columns on a on a viewport which is medium, and will occupy small on a small, rather 5 columns on a small viewport, no? On the other hand, yung right hand side will still occupy 2 and 2, whether it's small or medium viewport. Any questions so far? Any questions? So we can now apply our div here. Meron siyang konting intelligence, okay? So okay lang. Let's copy this. So layout, no? Next time when you make a web page, you start with the layout, and then before you fill it with the content. No? So you can do this. Now mahirap sa CSS, you can also do this using the display, the display properties, flex, grid, and inline. Inline, flex, and grid. Pwede rin inline, grid. Okay? We have discussed that before, right? And some of you have used flex display property on your first performance assessment. Will now this is a little confusing, no? Because these are grid classes, no? But actually they are flex. Kung tingnan mo, flexible siya, di ba? Okay. These are actually flex boxes. Do you follow? Nega-flex. But according to Bootstrap, these are the Bootstrap grid classes. But these are not, kasi confusing yung definition ng grid ng display property. Eh. When you say grid, it will not be flexible. But the Bootstrap grid classes are actually flexible or responsive classes. Okay? Any questions so far? Now, if you look at your our regular site, I'd like you to go through the tutorials yourself because we cannot discuss everything, no? Ang pinaka-importante dito sa tutorial ni Convincat are the following, no? Pero yung nav, I'm sorry, they will not apply anymore, no? Yung nav. So you have to experiment with the new navs of I'm not very familiar with Bootstrap 5 yet, no, but we are forced with Bootstrap 5. Wala tayong magawa doon. Maganda sana yung Bootstrap 4 kasi pwede tayong magawa ng mga what we call this drop down boxes. Now, it will be part of the rubrics, no? The drop down menu required na dito, no? In the second performance assessment using Bootstrap classes, no? Kasi if you look at the example of yung navigation bars ni Convincat. Okay, ganito, no? Hindi, ito nav component. Ganyan yung kanyang example, no? Merong mga drop down boxes. This 1 2 3 4. Ang problema, wala na pala tayong pills, no? Pills and tabs are no longer in Bootstrap 5, no? Ang tabs ganito, ang pills ganito. Do you have equivalent for that? Let me make sure, no? Bootstrap 5 nav pills. Okay. Wala na eh, no? We're very sorry we don't have navs. We no longer have nav tabs and nav pills. But there are equivalent. Ang nav pills kasi parang button group. Okay? Ang nav tabs will be like tabs. Wala na siyang tabs, no? Bootstrap 5. Okay? Do you follow? Okay. Navigation is very important because you are going to create navigation menus, right? Okay, navigation menus. Okay. Anyway, you can put buttons naman, no? So in navigation menu. So instead of using nav pills, you can now use buttons. You can put buttons on the knobs, no? Let's try to do that, no? You can also have icons, by the way. Sa Bootstrap 5, meron ng icons, glyphs, no? Glyphs and icons, okay? Do you follow? Okay. Now let's start first with a nav. What is a nav? A nav is a navigation button, okay? Horizontal menu, okay? Do you follow? I have here in my an example of a nav, no? In my W3 spaces. Sana ma-share ko ito, no? Bootstrap navigation. Okay, ito. This is an example of a nav, no? I'll put this in in Dagler. So when you run this, no, navigation.html. So different topic na tayo ngayon, no? Hindi na tayo grid. This is a nav. Okay? Do you follow? This is like a simple menu in a nav. So this is the no. You can have ahref, you have home, contact, and about. Okay? There's also a class called navbar. Okay? What will navbar do? It will convert it into a it will convert it into an ordinary list. So, spread out. Okay? How do you remove the tabs in or ordered list? UL. Remove dots. UL. How to remove? It's just an property, no? Coffee. What's list style? No? What's the property? Okay. List style. List decoration. The markers. No? How do you remove the dot? This is list style. None. Pwede ba list style none? Anyone? How do you remove the dots in a UL list style? Okay. Ano ko na lang, no? Let me search it in W3. Yun ang natin. List style. Style for UL. Okay. Or is it list style type? List. I think it's list style. Is there a none? Gusto ko tanggalin yung yung square inside. Wala siya example no? UL na lang. Lagyan na lang natin ng UL, no? Style. Bakit merong and style dito? Dapat meron akong style dito. Kulang ng Okay. Let's have a UL dot UL dot UL. We have a list style type. Pwede ba yan? Let's find out. Hindi niya no? List style. This style property is for the following. Style type. Roman. UL ito, no? UL, unordered list. Paano lagyan ng none? Mawala yung period. it should be list style type. Blank. I think it's blank. Kasi kung square, let's try this. Hindi pala. Wala palang dot. Okay. Situation. Nag-square siya. Okay, let's apply it as none. Okay. Find out what happens. Yeah, none. Okay. Do you follow? Okay. So that's the nav bar. When you say nav bar, that's tab. So iba yung nav sa nav bar, no? Save. So nav bar is different from nav. Ito yung nav. Okay? When you say nav bar, it's spread all over as a whole bar. Okay? I'm sorry, no? So it's whole bar, it will occupy the whole line. Okay? And then let's try nav bar, nav. Okay? There's another class, no? Let's run this. So, kung nav, no. What's that, no? I forgot the, no? I forgot the classification. Nav bar, and to make it vertical. Okay. Pag nav. How do you make vertical navs? Flex column. Okay. Nav with a flex column. Flex column. Yan, okay? So that's a vertical nav, flex column. Okay? How do you create a nav with a justify, which will justify the content? Okay? So there's justify content center. Okay? So UL class. There's another class, no? Justify content center. No? Gawin natin, tanggalin natin yung flex column. So that we'll get the So yan, i-center niya. Content end, can we have it right or left? Okay. Content end. Yan. Content left, is there a content left? Okay. Yan, content left. What if you will have two menus, no? We have a left menu and a right menu. Okay? Do you follow? Yung about, ilagay natin, or subscribe. Maglagay tayo ng subscribe dito sa sa right, okay? Ilagay natin sa isang div. Okay? We'll write another UL, okay? Yung about ilagay natin sa right. Okay. Tayo. Save this. Ayaw niya, no? Okay. So, dalawang UL, ang isa nasa left, ang isa nasa right. Problem is, bakit wala dito? Walang UL pala dito. Kulang ng isang UL. Right? Let's find out. Okay. Content end. No, it should not be content right, but content end. Ganon din. Okay, so there it is now, no? So nandito yung about sa right. Bakit bumaba? Okay. Can we put them on the div class row? Div. So they will be just in one row. Okay. Another div. Let's refresh this. Mababa pa rin, no? So what do we do about this? Okay. We can do apply now the layout, no? Okay. So pwede natin itong ilagyan ng, since this is a row, itong UL na to, we will assign it we'll say a few columns, no? We'll assign it a column, okay? And this second column this will be a second column in our, okay? This will be the second column in our layout, okay? So we'll apply this at column div class call dash sm. Let's still say 10. Okay. And then it will be a div. They will be on the same row. And then we'll apply this a div class. It becomes a column, no? Call dash sm2. Okay. So on in 12, the first menu will occupy, okay, will occupy 10 columns, and the second menu will occupy 2 columns. Okay. If it's small, then we will just apply a different same line na sila. Okay. Okay, so magbaba na siya ngayon pag below small na. Do you follow? Okay, so I'm making a nav bar in combination with layout, a grid layout, no? So para they will be on the same, no? Any questions so far? No? So practice ito, no? Practice. Okay. So take note, no? Iba talaga yung Bootstrap 4 at Bootstrap 5. In Bootstrap 5, before you don't do this, no? Okay. Now, can we use a button instead, no? No, instead of an href, no? So we'll search for a button, Bootstrap button. Wala nang pills, no? Wala nang tabs, no? Ang about gawin nating button. Link like link button. Okay. Ito ang link, no? Okay. Bootstrap 5 button with a link. I'm sorry, hindi ko memorize ito, no? Gusto yung kung yung about gusto ko sanang gawing which looks like button, no? Pwede ba nating lagyan ng class yan? It's instead of a nav link, nav button. Merong nav button, no? Ito ang problema sa bagong version, no? Nav bar. Navigation buttons. How do we make it look like a button? Ang color, madali lang yung color, no? Okay. So merong nav bar with drop down, no? We'll go to that shortly, no? And ito, nav bar buttons. Ito nakita. Nasa W3 schools, no? Under nav bar. Okay? Problema may JavaScript. Tagalin lang muna natin yung JavaScript, no? Class nav. Let's try this. Tingnan natin. Ito, no? Okay. May search button. Gusto kong matingnan yung search button. Where search ito. Well, ganun talaga. Medyo, ano? Okay. So anyway, you look for this, no? Under navbar ito. Okay. Okay. So anyway, let's copy this na lang, no? Nav class. Okay. Bootstrap 5 pa rin. Kanina yung navs tayo, now navbar class. This is the navbar class. Okay. Can copy this. Dito na tayo magkopya. And then we'll end with the nav. Okay. Then we'll try copy this in our W3 spaces. Where's our W3 spaces ito? Delete na lang natin ito. Okay. Walang container, no? Let's try to find out if this works. Bakit walang container? Mali yung na-copy. I've copied the wrong thing. Centered bar. Everything now with logo you can have under navbar under the navbar class. No? Ito. navbar class, no? This is the navbar class of Bootstrap 5. Using a nav, no? Okay. Oh, ayan. Okay, you have a link here which is like a button. Any questions so far? No? And then the last thing which I'd like to fix bottom, pwede fix bottom, no? There's a class for fix bottom. Okay. Fix top. Okay, let's put it up. Nav class fix top. Okay. So fix. The good thing about fix top is you have, if you have a content, no, the nav bar will not overlap your content. Tingnan mo, no? Kung may content ka dito, yung content will not be overlapped. Okay, and then you will have fixed bottom if you want to place it in the bottom. Okay, this is the nav bar class, no? Oh, so nandyan sa baba. Okay. Now, there's an example for for drop down class. Okay. Let's copy that, no? Nandito sa no? Nandito sa nandito sa drop sa tutorial ng W3 schools. Okay? I don't have to put it there because it's already there in the tutorial, no? You look it up for that you look up for the example. Save. Then there it is, no? Nav and nav bar class. So ayan. I drop down. Okay? Do you follow? So maybe in your initial website, you just copied it blindly, right? So W3, meron din ganito ang W3 eh. Do you follow? This time, you don't have to copy it blindly because you know the classes, no? So the classes is, ito lang naman eh, nav item drop down. Okay? Yun ang classes, ang class ng nav bar. Nav link item toggle, no? Which could toggle the button, yung drop down. Yung toggle will put a down arrow, no? Do you follow? Do you follow? So ito, no, may toggle sa, no? Yung down arrow na yan. Okay? Any questions so far? No? So what have we covered so far? The grid system and the navigations. No? Grids and navigations, they will be part of the rubrics of the next performance assessment. No? And this will be part, by the way, of our formative assessment on the 17th. Okay? So all others, these are the most important things. How do you lay out your web page using the grid system, and how do you create the navigation bars? Okay? All the others, yung mga buttons, di ba na-discuss na rin natin yung buttons, text, paragraphs. We will try to discuss forms, okay? Forms and modals. Next meeting. Okay? Wala na tayong time. Next meeting, we will discuss forms and modals, and before we go through to W3, no? So ang W3, bilisan lang natin, isang meeting lang, no? Kasi wala na, maubos na yung time natin. We still need to go to jQuery, okay? JavaScript tayo, no? Katapos nito. Any questions so far? No? So forms, no? Forms and modals, dapat i-cover natin ito. Tables, kayo nang bala sa tables, ha? I think we've discussed this already, right? Tingnan natin. Di pa natin na-discuss yung tables. Na-discuss natin yun. Yung mga stripe, yung zebra type, di ba? Discuss natin yun. Okay? So I hope it's clear now what Bootstrap is. It's a CSS platform with a collection of style sheets that you do not have to create from scratch. All you need to do is familiarize these style sheets. And if the style sheets are not enough, you can build on top of it by creating your own CSS. Okay? So, it's up to you, no, to familiarize the whole of Bootstrap and CSS, because if you want to be an expert on CSS, you will have a career on that, no? Kasi merong these are companies who are very particular with the look of their web page. So kailangan magaling yung CSS, yung styler, right? Magaling yung the styler should be good. And the good styler is the one who is very familiar with CSS and the CSS frameworks. Kasi doon ka gagamit eh. No? So that these stylers are called CSS kings. Huh? So I hope someday many of you, no, will become CSS kings who can do style sheets right on the fly, no, and create amazing and good looking web pages. Any questions so far? No? So kailangan ninyong i-build ito, no? No? I'm not a designer. I write programs, but I ask someone to design for me. Okay? Normally, I'm not very good in art. No? So I usually ask someone to do the design, the CSS for me, no? And then I do the JavaScript. Okay? And the SQL. Okay? That's what I'm interested at. So hopefully someday, no, with practice, I can be a full stack. Now, ang tawag dyan, full stack developer, where you do everything from HTML to CSS to JavaScript to SQL, no, and MongoDB. Ikaw na gagawa lahat, you are called a full stack developer. And the full stack developer are usually the higher paid developers, no. Full stack development calls for high wages, especially in Amazon. Magaling ka mag full stack development. If you land a job in Amazon, especially an online job, it could make you rich. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so see you next meeting, no? I'll give you the rubrics of the second performance test within this. Kung hindi ko kaya ngayong Thursday, next Tuesday, okay? Any questions? So isasali natin ito, no? Sa formative assessment ngayong 17. I cannot give you a practice test. You are not beginners anymore. You will have to do practice it yourself, okay? So any questions? So bye everyone. You're almost time. Sandali lang, hindi ko na-check lahat ng attendance, no? May bagong dating. Sabino, are you there? Meron pang may bagong dumating eh. I think it's Tupas. Yes.
Yes, sir. Ako, sir.
Tupas. Tan.
Ako rin pa, sir.
Tan. Pawaon. Did Pawaon came in? Kaur. Kang. Ihara. Abalos. Alquino. So, performance assessment number 2, competition ito ha. Kung sinong pinakamagaling, i-post ko as best pages and honorable mentions in our page. Okay? In our regular post. Bye everyone and good afternoon. No?
Bye, sir.
Bye everyone.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Coming everyone. Okay.